Tell me when. Welcome to Simon Field on the campus of DC Everest High School for Wednesday night American Legion Baseball. Hi, your friendly announcer is Chris Conley, getting ready for the Plover Black Sox against the Everest Legion team. Plover's played 19 games and they've won 13 of them. And they're sending one of their college pitchers to the mound today, Kenny Schultz. Schultz at St. Cloud State. Everest will start Brennan Bartlett, who will come back as a high school junior. Lineups coming up. Our pregame show is brought to you by Auto Select, Stevens Point's best choice for auto repairs, maintenance, and tires. Complete auto repair services, locations on Church Street and Highway 10 East. No matter your automotive needs, look to Auto Select, and you're good to go. Let's give you the starting lineups and the batting orders first for the visiting Black Sox. Always one of the best Legion teams year after year. A lot of the Spash high school kids wind up playing for Plover. Some of them are graduates from the class of 2022, and others are back from college. Tommy Dronner will lead off and play right field. Batting second in left field is Jackson Fox. Bryson Cashin plays center field and bats third. Carl Beechler is the shortstop, batting fourth. Thomas Hurt will DH and will hit for the pitcher Kenny Schultz. He'll bat fifth. Landon Moe, the second baseman, sixth. John Nafe's the first baseman, batting seventh. Caden Thayer is the third baseman, and he'll hit eighth. Tim Sackman will catch for the Black Sox tonight. He'll hit ninth. For visiting Plover, Dronner, Fox, Cashin, Beechler, Hunt, Moe, Nafe, Thayer, and Sackman. For the home team, Everest shortstop Kyler Soppe. Kyler usually plays second base, moves to the left side of the infield, and will lead off. Andrew Cotter will bat second. He'll hit for the pitcher, Brennan Bartlett. Nick Cotter will catch and bat third. Mitch Danielski's in right field. He'll hit fourth. Preston Miller, center fielder, hits fifth. Braxton Olson is at first base. He'll bat sixth. Logan George is the starting second baseman, seventh. Nate Langman is with the Everest Legion team tonight. He'll hit eighth and play left field. And Owen Garski is the third baseman, hitting ninth. Again for the home team, Everest, Soppe, Andrew Cotter, Nick Cotter, Mitch Danielski, Preston Miller, Olson, George, Langman, and Gartsky. The managers have completed their pregame conference with the umpires here. If you're not familiar with Simon Field, it is spacious in foul territory, both down the first base and third base line. The crowd at Simon Field comes to its feet for the Star-Spangled Banner.
Masonville Dairy, family owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Masonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on U.S. Highway 10, NasonvilleDairy.com.
Central Door Solutions is the premier commercial and residential overhead door and dock equipment provider in north central Wisconsin. Our staff of trained professionals have the resources it takes to respond to emergency calls quickly. We use only the highest quality materials and top manufacturers in our overhead doors, hollow metal entry doors, dock equipment, screen doors, and much more.
Whether it's your home or business, farm or industrial, Central Door has your solution. Central Door Solutions, where personality opens doors and character keeps them open.
Through a quarter barrel when they started singing. My goodness. We could not ask for a nicer night for baseball. 78 degrees as we get ready for first pitch. Wind is blowing gently to right field. The weather is just not going to be a factor today. Humidity's way down. It's comfortable. I sometimes joke with the home plate umpire when it's humid and in the upper 80s or 90s, you want the other guy to call balls and strikes. You want to be the infield umpire on days like that. No such problems today. Black Sox wear their black shirts with gray pants, and the Everest Legion is out in their green jerseys with the yellow trim and the home white. As Brennan Bartelt takes his warm-up pitches, let's set the defense behind him. In left field, that's Nate Langman. Preston Miller, who's got a great glove, plays center field for Everest, and Mitch Danielski is in right. The Everest infield's a little bit shifted around from their normal lineup. Owen Garski will play third base. Kyler Soppe is the shortstop today, which frees up a spot for Logan George at second, and Braxton Olson is at first. Nick Cotter, who's been a good defensive catcher for Everest from the high school and into the Legion season, is behind the plate. And Brennan Bartelt is taking his warm-up tosses, right-hander. Saw him last week. He was the starting pitcher in that weird game against Marshfield where Everest was staked to a big lead. And then after Marshfield got into the Everest bullpen, they rallied for a 13-10 lead. At one point in that game, Everest led 10-1. Baseball today is brought to you by Fleet Farm. Head to Fleet Farm during the 4th of July sale. Save on snacks, grilling supplies, camping gear, outdoor games, kayaks, and more. Stop in on July 4th and get a free handheld flag. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955. I'm Chris Conley, and one of the most enjoyable things I've done this summer is do some of the fill-in work on these American Legion games. Give a big thanks to everyone at Zaleski Sports who's given me a chance to share some of these summer memories with you. Again, we got a tremendous night for baseball for Wednesday Night Legion. 5 stars, would highly recommend. Tommy Droner, left-handed bat, will lead things off for the Black Sox. Tommy Droner. Your friendly announcer, Mr. Conley, has made a career, a 35-year storied broadcast career of mispronouncing people's names. The game starts with a bunt attempt up the third base side, foul. Droner's got good speed and has been a solid bat all season, from the high school season right into the Legion season. 0-1 pitch is aimed down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Just some high, thin clouds. It's going to be a comfortable evening, too, once the sun sets beyond the right field wall here at Simon Field. Strike 2, 1-2. Whenever we do a game that involves the Everest Legion team, we should talk about the Everest approach is a little bit different. Off-speed pitch behind the bag, got a play there, throw, safe. Yeah, that's the speed of Droner, and Logan George was going to have a tough play moving all the way to his right. An infield hit to start things off for the Black Sox. You know, the Everest Legion team looks at this part of the season as developmental for the high school varsity team next year. So Everest, for instance, doesn't have any college players who are coming back from their freshman year. Jackson Fox takes strike 1 off speed from Bartelt. So what is this Everest American Legion team made up mostly of? JV high school players and juniors who are going to be seniors in the coming year. It's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And then they find themselves playing against teams that have some college players who are back for the summer and graduated seniors. So it's younger kids against older kids, which is why sometimes Everest seems mismatched in these Legion games. Everest is developing, and a lot of the other teams are giving playing opportunities to just graduated seniors and college kids. In fact, in that game where Everest gave up and lost the big lead to Marshfield last week, an Everest JV pitcher pitching to a freshman in college who hit a grand slam, which tilted the game. That pitch is down low, 2 balls and a strike. So in short, Plover's got the more experienced team. Again, it's bigger kids against younger kids. Runners going, pitches a strike, throw down to second, safe. Droner's got a stolen base. Back at home plate, the count is evened at 2 balls and 2 strikes, but with Tommy's speed, Jackson Fox finds himself in an RBI spot if he can drive the ball to the outfield. I think the home plate umpire may have just indicated that the last pitch was a ball. Boy, I didn't see it that way. Indeed it was. That was a 3-1 pitch that's outside. It's ball 4. Jackson Fox is aboard. First 2 Black Sox reach. Bryson Cashin. That's right. See, Cashin is a Pacelli kid, not a Spash kid. And that's one of the reasons why the Black Sox have been successful. They get to pick up some of the best other kids who were not part of the Spash program. Cashin's got an unusual stance. He's a lefty, and he's way, way open. Look where that front foot is if you see that on our Zaleski Sports cameras. That front foot is all the way back. So he's looking to pull that ball into right field. 2 aboard, nobody out. There's a strike. 1-1 to Cashin. And one of the things you learn about high school sports in Wisconsin, that there may be individual athletes who play for much smaller schools. Again, Pacelli is tiny compared to Spash, and yet you've got a couple of kids that can play effective ball. Hit to second, there's one. Can they turn the double play? Not in time. Everest cuts down the middle runner, 1 down, and there are runners at first and third. It is Jackson Fox who is erased on the bases. Droner moves to third. Bryson Cashin is at first. Right, so Cashin had big football stats and big baseball stats for the smaller team, Pacelli, and yet fits in just fine. Double steal going here, no throw down. Bryson Cashin acquires second base without a throw. Carl Beechler is the batter. And the Evergreens, not wanting to fall behind early, pull the infield in. 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2 balls and no strikes. Again, this is going to be tough duty for the Evergreens tonight. This is an American Legion team that has not won an in-league game yet. And they're playing Plover good year after year. Well hit ball, left center field, over the shoulder. Nate Langman can't come up with it. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. That's at least a double. Holding at second base is Carl Beechler, and 2 runs come in. The Black Sox will play from in front this evening. They have a 2-0 lead. Now, Nate Langman, the Everest left fielder, played some third base, and of course, I mean, his calling card is his pitching. And as you saw there, he's not quite comfortable in left field. Kind of a little slow getting his jump on that ball, then had it go over the shoulder. Evergreens just appealed to home plate, safe. That's their appealing whether one of the runners actually touched home plate or not. No such call, 2-0. Thomas Hunt to hit now. Strike 1. Runner on second, and the White Sox have to be thinking more here in the early stages. Off speed, up the first base side, and foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Brennan Bartelt sure could help himself out with a strikeout here. In fact, getting out of the inning at 2-0 would seem like a moral victory. You don't want to find yourself down 4 or 5 or more than that here in the first inning. So you got to keep it close in the early stages. This ball is well hit to center. Preston Miller's got a beat on it, going back, reaches up and makes the catch. Runner is going to tag from second and move on to third base. So there'll be 2 outs and a runner 90 feet away. Again, you look at the difference between the Everest outfielders. Nate Langman got a slow jump and got turned around. Preston Miller, again, who's just the solid center fielder, read that right, was taking his steps back long before the ball got to him and had an easy play. With 2 outs, here's Landon Moe. Off speed, on the outside corner, strike. Landon Moe. Pitch here is just above the letters, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bartelt comes set. He's coming home. And this ball is hit to short. A chance to get out of the inning. That sure-handed Kyler Soppy throws him out. 2 hits and 2 runs come in. One of them thanks to a walk. The Black Sox lead 2-0. Everest coming up in the bottom of the first when we're coming right back on Zaleski Sports.
At Bauer & Fine Business Technologies in Marshfield, our company has been serving Central Wisconsin since 1955. We're still locally owned and believe strongly in supporting the communities that support us. If you're a current customer, thank you. If you're not a current customer, we'd love to work with you. Let's talk about copiers, printers, postage meters, and network services. Give us a call today at 800-288-2712 or visit our website at b-bt.com. Bauer & Fine Business Technologies. Better business together.
Hi, this is Van Patrick Oates from Rapids Awards and More. People ask, what is the more part of Awards and More? Well, that means that we're more than just an award store. We engrave glass, wood, plastic, guns, Yeti cups, medals, knives, and so much more. We're located on the web at awardsandmore.us. And if you're in the Wisconsin Rapids area, visit our physical store at 1210 Pepper Avenue or check us out on Facebook. Rapids Awards and More than just awards.
Welcome back to Simon Field, where the Black Sox get 2 runs in their top half of the first inning. Could have been more if it was not for a nice play at short by Kyler Soppy. Soppy doesn't make that play, and that ball's ticketed for left field, and it'd be a 3-0 ball game. Let's set the defense behind Kenny Schultz. He's a left-hander. Evergreens always seem to struggle against left-handed pitching. So again, runs may be at a premium here for the Everest Legion team. Behind Schultz, Jackson Fox in left, Bryson Cashin in center, Tommy Droner's in right. Caden Thayer's the third baseman. Carl Beechler is the shortstop. Landon Mose at second. John Naif is the first baseman. Tim Sackman will catch, and Kenny Schultz is completing his warm-up tosses here. Yeah, I remember Schultz as a starting pitcher for Spash at St. Cloud State now. So again, like we said earlier in the broadcast, I mean, Everest is hitting against a college-level pitcher and a lefty to boot. And the Evergreens are trying to develop one of their JV pitchers into a varsity starter for next year. That's Brennan Bartelt, who has reached for 2 runs on 2 hits. Schultz is completing his warm-up tosses. We're ready to go. Brought to you by Feltz Dairy, located at Crossroads Commons in Stevens Point. Feltz Dairy is a family-friendly experience serving your favorite cheeses, ice creams, meats, and more, all grown right in central Wisconsin. Feltz Dairy, Monday through Saturday, 24/7 on Facebook. Now, for high school batters to have to hit against college-level pitching, I mean, this is really good experience. We'll look at this as a building block for the next season. Big-time fastball. Soppy swings and misses. Strike 1. Yeah, I mean, this is a level of pitching that you might not see in the high school game. 0-1 pitch, took something off there, and Soppy fouls it off. No balls and 2 strikes. And one of the reasons the Black Sox are an excellent American Legion team from one year to the next is there are a lot of college kids that come back and want to get their summer work in right here at this program. Took something off. Well, that's almost unfair. Hard cutter. Soppy's right over the top of it. He sees 3 pitches and has struck out. Here's Andrew Cotter. Lefty versus lefty, so the advantage shifts to the pitcher in this spot. Again, I mean, why is this so difficult? Because when you're a lefty and you're facing a left-handed, everything breaks in towards you. So throw that hard cutter or even throw that slower curve, it's coming in on your hands. First pitch from Schultz starts him off with a fastball outside. You know, the flip side of that coin, if you're the left-handed pitcher, you don't want to be giving up free passes to left-handed batters. When you hold the better cards, you got to look at these as outs that you have to get. Plover already staked to a 2-0 lead. Cotter digs in and waits on the 1-0 pitch. Bounced to third. Thayer's got it, throws across the diamond. There's the second out. Older brother Nick Cotter will hit now.
Number 7, Nick Cotter.
Cotter's ready to go. 2 outs and nobody on. Starts him off with a fastball up the middle, and it's through. Nick Cotter's got himself a hit. Takes the first pitch that he sees and singles. 2 outs and a man aboard now for Everest. Here's Mitch Danielski.
25, Mitch Danielski.
Now, Nick Cotter, graduated senior, gets a chance to play with the Everest Legion, in part because they needed a catcher. Courtesy runner coming out here. Pearson McDonald will courtesy run. And Nick Cotter, who is catching, will have time to get the gear back on. Got my cheat sheets right over here. All right, Mitch Danielski in against Kenny Schultz. Coming home here, down low. Again, Schultz has to shorten up the delivery mechanics in this spot. Again, the first pitch coming from the set instead of the full windup is down low. Now at a ball and no strikes, throw over to first. Oh, I remember Schultz when he played for Spash. That's a tricky and excellent move to first. He's already got the advantage of throwing from the left-hand side. In fact, I've done games where Schultz has picked off more than one batter. Coming home here, inside-out swing, first base side and foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. I see that I will be putting the microphone and headphones on again tomorrow. We'll be over at Athletic Park in Wausau. One of the Zaleski Sports games will be Wausau against Wisconsin Rapids. And, you know, we'll scrounge up someone to do the play-by-play for that. Maybe they'll be all right. The ball and a strike here to Danielski with a man at first. Coming home is up high. 2-1. Again, Schultz has such good stuff. I'm not sure how much I'd worry about the runner at first base here. Can probably overpower a lot of the batters in the Everest lineup today. I'd be focused on being home. There you go. Danielski had trouble catching up with the Express and swings right through it. Super late, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here in our press box, which is above the third base dugout, it's a little bit toasty, but outside it's really comfortable. Curveball drops in, strike 3, and Mitch Danielski is retired. First inning complete. Everest leaves a man aboard. Black Sox lead 2-0 on Zaleski Sports.
At Auto Select, we have one goal, to be your choice for repair, service, and tires.
We know how important your vehicle is to you. That's why we put your needs first. Our employees are not just well trained to fix your vehicle, they're skilled in providing the very best in customer service and exceeding expectations. Get the trusted service you deserve, as well as free loaner vehicles, 3% Auto Select rewards, and a nationwide warranty at our 11 convenient locations.
At Auto Select, you're good to go.
When you want to win games, you look for an expert. Here's 2-time national champion, Coach Jack Bennett.
I may know a few things about basketball, but I'm a rookie when it comes to vehicles. I trust the team at Sherrill Tire and Service Centers to call those shots. They're professionals. Remove the stress and anxiety of having your vehicle serviced or repaired.
Find your location at SherrillTire.com.
Go with the winning team at Sherrill Tire and Service Centers.
Top of the second is on. 7, 8, and 9 in the Black Sox order will hit against Brennan Bartelt. Shorty got low playing between innings is proof that coaches and parents are still not experts on song lyrics. I'm Chris Conley, and we're brought to you by Spectrum Benefit Solutions, offices located throughout central Wisconsin. Spectrum Benefit Solutions is your group benefits provider for health, dental, accident, and life insurance. Spectrum Benefit Solutions works with hundreds of clients of all sizes to help attract and retain the best employees. Find Spectrum Benefit Solutions on Facebook to get started. John Naif to lead off. Curveball is a slow roller back to the mound. Bartelt has it. One pitch, and he's got the first out here in the second inning.
Now batting the third baseman, number 19, Caden Fowler.
Are we sure that this is Caden Fowler? Yes. Looking around, yes. Sometimes Caden Thayer apologize for that while I'm doing these games. As we see him more, we know him better. First pitch from Bartelt is down low, ball one. There's power in this Plover lineup from top to bottom. Caden can hit. And he's in the number 8 spot. Off-speed pitch. It's popped up. Got under it. Foul territory, third base side. And Owen Garski makes the catch in foul ground. Second out.
Now batting the catcher,
Tim Sackman.
Tim Sackman.
I see earlier today the Brewers were winners. Played the Rays and 5-3 for a second game in a row. I'll tell you this, if you're in first place, I've never played on a team that was in first place. I go all the way back to Little League. Nope, none of that for me. First pitch for Tim Sackman, down low, ball one. But when you're in first place, it's great when you play in the afternoon and the other teams that are chasing you play at night. That you get to hang up that W and everybody else knows immediately, hit down the left field line, fair ball. This is going to have to be cut off quickly. Maybe a chance for a double. There'll be a throw. Safe. Nate Langman got a good throw there from left field, made that closer than it might be. Tim Sackman's got a two-out double.
Number 15, Tommy Droner.
You know what? It's frustrating when you're chasing a team and you play and you see that they've already won from the afternoon. So you know the best you can do is just hold ground against them. Droner to hit now with 2 outs and a man on second. In that 2-run first inning, Plover left a man in scoring position. Try and pick him up here in the second in this 2-0 game. Ball one, down low. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes when the team's chasing you, see that you've already posted that win, sometimes they don't play their best and they wind up falling further behind. Throw to second, and oh boy, that's a bad play. Pitch is down low. The pickoff throw goes into the outfield, and Tim Sackman will move on to third base. It's an error on the pitcher. You know, the problem with that is that the shortstop, Kyler Soppy's not even on the bag. So you're throwing to someone who's behind the bag anyway. There's not going to be a play. So the only thing that can happen is something bad. And it's an error that moves him up to third base. Back at home, the pitch to Droner is low. 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, we're thinking up here that may have hit the runners. Sackman going back. So that's a live ball. Would have gone even further into the outfield if it didn't. 2 balls, no strikes. High, strike, 2-1. Black Sox have 3 hits. Everest has committed an error to put that runner over at third. Hitter's spot here, 2-1. Just off the outside corner, 3-1. Bartelt's going to kind of need a little help. He needs a pitch like that to even the count. Instead, it doesn't. Droner's going to have the green light here, try and drive this run in. You bet he does. Sinking, left field, it's down, and a run will score. Tommy is 2 for 2, and now has himself an RBI. 3-0.
Number 12, Jackson Fox.
You know, that may not have been hit hard enough to score the run from second, but from third because of the error, costs Everest a run, and it's 3-0. Here's Jackson Fox, who walked his first time up. Jackson's first ball swinging. It's a fly to right field. Mitch Danielski under it and makes the catch. That brings the inning to a close. Yeah, that's going to be an unearned run that Plover gets across. We'll go to the bottom of the second at our new score. Black Sox 3, Everest 0 on Zaleski Sports.
Rich,
creamy, and fun. Point Craft Soda. Caffeine-free, made with 100% real sugar. From Stevens Point Brewery.
This is Monogram, Plover, Wisconsin, feeding America. And these are the people who work here, proud of their jobs and the products they make.
I started out as anybody else would, on the line, third shift, and I worked my way up to first shift and then eventually operator positions.
Monogram Foods, come grow with us.
Welcome back to Simon Field. Black Sox 3, Everest nothing. Everest sends 5, 6, and 7 in their order to face Kenny Schultz. You know what, again, Schultz, he's a college pitcher. So, a man among boys in this Legion game. You almost wonder when he takes to the mound, is he going to throw a no-hitter? Or are you only going to get 1 or 2 hits? Well, the Evergreens did manage to get a hit in that first inning. So the no-hit possibilities immediately go by the wayside. You can't assume no-hitters. That's just beyond what you can guess for a pitcher. Again, when you've got a college-level pitcher, which the Black Sox have, against a team that's developing next year's high school varsity players, pitcher holds the cards for sure. Here's Preston Miller to lead off in a 3-0 ball game. Starts him off, bounced off the plate. Tough play for the pitcher who's got to go back. Fields his position well, throws low, but gets the out anyway.
Now batting, the left fielder, number 23.
Kenny Schultz was solid there.
First baseman, number 5, Braxton Olson.
That's a tricky play for the pitcher because he's a lefty, so he's coming off the mound in the other direction, has to reach back to the third base side to make that play, and even with a low throw. Naif picks it out at first base, and there's the first out. Braxton Olson takes his turn against Kenny Schultz. Leg kick, home, just below the knees, ball 1. That one's a little bit up high, so somewhere between the top and the bottom is a strike. Instead, Schultz is behind 2 balls and no strikes. There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. The scoreboard here at Simon Field is 3 or 4 years old. It has always been a little box of tricks. Worst job in the press box is running the scoreboard. Fouled off here, 2 balls and 2 strikes. For the longest time, because this scoreboard, it uses infrared technology, that the scoreboard controller up here has a little antenna on it, and out there on the scoreboard is another little antenna. That's how they talk to each other. Sometimes. Boy, that just missed. That's too close to take. It's outside 3-2. So Braxton Olson lives dangerously, and we'll see another pitch in this at-bat. Full count. Popped up. Over in right field. Droner's there, makes the catch. There's the second out. 2 up, 2 down, and Logan George will hit.
Baseman, number 8, Logan George.
There we go. Fly ball to right field, no problem. Baseball tonight brought to you by Point Heating. Get comfortable this summer. Point Heating and Cooling, your Lennox dealer in Stevens Point and Plover. More than 100 years of making your home and business comfortable. Sign up for planned service, get 10% off parts, and a reminder to service your furnace and central air conditioning. Call Point Heating and Cooling, 715-345-1976. That's 715-345-1976, or online, all one word, pointheating.com, pointheating.com. Quick 2 strikes on Logan George. And the third pitch is a swing and a miss, strike 3. That's a 3 up, 3 down inning for Kenny Schultz. 2 complete, Black Sox 3, Everest nothing on Zaleski Sports.
Customize your next apparel order with Maida Custom Apparel of Stevens Point. Visit us today for custom baseball and softball apparel. Need help with a design? We have you covered. Our highly skilled staff will turn your idea into a reality with great quality screen printing. Or choose from a variety of embroidery options today. Visit us at our physical store or online at maidacustom.com.
Really got to understand what what a nurse is. Do they focus on you? You know, do they make sure that you're comfortable? And you know, that's what Shai has. It's the connection that he has. You know, my best interest in mind always.
Why wait another day? Let's take the next step together towards a better life.
Plover owns the hit column 4-1, and they have a 3-0 lead as we go to the top of the third inning. The big bats coming up for the Black Sox. 3, 4, 5 in their order. Cashin, Beechler, Hunt. Makes all the difference as to whether it's a comfortable late afternoon or evening. It's whether it's humid or not. I mean, yesterday it was kind of hot and sticky. Humidity is way down, so this just feels like a comfortable evening. Cashin reached on a fielder's choice. Again, he's got that big stance open from the left-hand side. Bartelt, first ball swinging, well hit to center, but going back, Preston Miller, and he's there. Miller makes it look easy. There's the first out.
Now batting the shortstop, number 16, Carl Feischler.
The approach for Plover today at the plate has been to swing early. Again, they think that Bartelt's going to try and throw strikes, get ahead, and that first pitch in the sequence could be highly hittable. This one's down low for a ball. Feischler gapped a double the first time up. Got the first run in of the ball game. Off speed here on the inside corner, 1-1. Again, while that's a nice pitch from Bartelt, some batters are not going to bail out on that, and they're going to stay in there and drive that ball. Second time to the shortstop. Soppy bobbles, can't pick it up, no play. That's an error on the Everest shortstop. And Beichler's been aboard both times this game.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 24, Thomas Hunt.
Hunt hit the ball well, but flied out to center field. Had Preston Miller going back a couple of steps. First ball swinging here. There's a line drive, and Hunt's got himself a single. Bobbled in the outfield. The runner's going to go to third, and it'll be a hit and an error on that bobble in center field, allowing Hunt to come into second. There are runners on second and third. Hunt's got himself a hit. And an error on the center fielder, Miller, allowing the runners to move up an extra base. Bobbled in the outfield. Landon Moe to hit. And Everest has to bring the infield in. There's only one out, and there are runners at second and third. Curve outside. Again, it's early in the game, but it's already 3-0. And a hit here could bring in two more. So this is kind of an out that Bartelt needs, and that hit him. Bases are full. It hit him and then hit the bat. So that is a hit batter. The bases are full.
Now batting the first baseman, number
John Naif to hit now.
Naif.
Naif's a big kid, swung a good bat all season. Chance to do some damage here. Everest changes the defensive alignment here. They'll play in at first and third. Shortstop and second baseman are back at double play depth. So again, a hit up the middle probably scores another run. There's only one out. And Naif with a chance to blow this open. Outside corner, strike one. Boy, fundamentals of pitching when the bases are full, the first pitch has to be a strike. Otherwise, just the pitcher seems like he's chasing the entire at-bat if it's not. Curve up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Barteld's breaking stuff is so slow that that's a dangerous pitch to throw in this spot. That drops into the strike zone's a little bit too fat. It could be hit a long, long way. And this is a fly ball to center. It's deep enough to get a run in. Preston Miller catching. This is going to be a sacrifice fly. The runner from third will tag and score 4-0 Black Sox. And give Naif an RBI. Yeah, the base is loaded with 1 out. So the Black Sox have to be thinking more than 1 run in this spot. But now there are 2 down, and it's up to Caden Fowler. There are runners at first and second. Black Sox have scored in every frame, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 more in here in the third, and there's a strike at the knees. 5 hits for Plover, 1 for Everest. 0-1 pitch. Ball is popped up, probably ending the inning, too. It's in foul ground, and the catcher calling and catching. Pitcher, catcher, and first baseman all about to converge there. And Everest gives up only 1 run. That may feel like a little bit of a moral victory. Plover does build on their lead. Our new score as we go to the bottom of the third. It's Black Sox 4, Everest nothing on Zaleski's.
Come check out Velocity Clubhouse.
Velocity Clubhouse is open to the public, and we have a large facility for any of your sporting needs. Whether it's hitting, pitching, volleyball, or practice on the same court as the Housers, try our baseball simulator. Work one-on-one with experienced coaches. Schedule your next birthday party or gathering with Velocity Clubhouse of Stevens Point. 715-254-0505.
So here's how the top half of the third inning came to an end. Again, who's going to have this? The catcher, the pitcher, the baseman? It's the catcher, Nick Cotter. Everest sends 8, 9, and 1 to their order against Kenny Schultz. Schultz had a 3-up, 3-down second and has retired the last 4 that he's faced. I'm Chris Conley, glad to be bringing you American Legion baseball Wednesday night from Simon Field. Par 4 Resort sponsors tonight's game. The beautiful Par 4 Resort in Wapaka, home to 18 fun-filled holes and the Foxfire Golf Club, and a full menu of delicious lunch and dinner options at the Par 4 Bistro. First pitch there is a strike from Kenny Schultz. Get your friends and family together. Head to Wapaka for a favorite dinner, golf, and overnight stay. The Par 4 Resort in Wapaka. 0-1. Fouled straight down. Strike 2. Enjoyed seeing Nate Langman pitch during the high school season. I think he's scheduled to pitch tomorrow, which means his dad, Greg Langman, is here at the ballpark tonight. Checked his swing down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Greg Langman, because of his time in the minor leagues when he was younger and as a coach, has the best baseball stories of anyone in the D.C. Everest area. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nate here. Checked his swing. Slow roller to short. Beechler's got it over to first. There's the first out. Greg Langman spent some of his minor league time in Binghamton, New York. Now, when I was a college student at Syracuse, minor league baseball was just returning to Binghamton. In fact, they built that brand new stadium for the B Mets, the Binghamton Mets in Double-A in the Eastern League. Binghamton has the most unusual opening day baseball story ever. Tell you about it during Owen Garski's at-bat, first ball swinging strike 1. So they build this brand new stadium, and the stadium's got all the minor league cliches. There are train tracks just beyond the outfield wall, And there's a power plant beyond the outfield wall, too. So the stadium was named for NYSEG, New York State Electric and Gas. It was NYSEG Stadium. Swing and a miss, no balls, 2 strikes. So they finally are ready for opening day at NYSEG Stadium in Binghamton. And on opening day, it poured rain. They had showers and thunderstorms. They could not play. Swing and a miss. Garski is down on 3 pitches. That's the second out.
Now batting the shortstop, number 16.
The next day, the brand new field was still in lousy condition, and it rained some more. So the first 2 opening day games were rained out. And lo and behold, on the third day, more showers and thunderstorms. So 3 days of rain and no baseball at the brand new stadium in Binghamton, New York. And on the 4th day, the sun comes out. And they take the tarp off the infield, and tens of thousands of worms had come up through the ground. The entire dirt part of the infield is covered with worms, and the field was not playable. The only game ever to be wormed out. Kyler Soppe takes a ball. And there's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. I will tell you this, though, when they got all of that cleared away, NYSEG Field was a nice place to see a game. And Greg Langman, Nate's dad, played some minor league ball there. Down low, 2 balls and a strike. Greg Langman's dad, Dale, would tell stories about following his kid's minor league career during the summer. He worked in the school district, swing and a miss, strike 2. So once the school year was over, they'd load up the family and drive cross country to wherever their son was playing minor league baseball, and has very good memories of that. Nate Langman, for years, was our Everest official scorekeeper and a regular here in the press box. Swing and a miss. Kyler Soppe is out. It's another 3-up, 3-down inning for Kenny Schultz. Schultz has now retired the last 7 that he's faced. 3 complete, Plover 4, Everest nothing on Zaleski Sports.
There may be many varieties of pizza in the world, and everybody knows there's only one Polito's. Polito's Pizza in downtown Stevens Point is the home of the big slice. Starting with their hand-stretched dough, add in the unique Polito's recipe sauce, top it with any of their specialty pizzas made from the best ingredients, and you've got that one-of-a-kind Polito's flavor. Get in on the taste, available by the slice or by the pie for dine-in or takeout. Treat the whole family to the best tasting pizza around and find it right here in downtown Stevens Point at Polito's Pizza.
If you lose direction, you can grab my hand. I'll be the one behind you to say no one-man band. Just follow your dreams and keep your promises.
We're all different, but we all want great health insurance. See why we're rated #1 in service, coverage, and affordability in central Wisconsin.
Between innings at Simon Field, the Rolling Stones' Start Me Up plays. I'm Chris Conley. This is a significant song in my broadcasting career. It was the first song I ever played as a little baby DJ at WJBX Radio. Super Hits JBX. Here are the Rolling Stones. I kind of owe a debt of gratitude to the really bad Madonna songs from the 1980s.
Now batting catcher, number 9, Tim Sackman.
Got me out of music radio and into news and talk radio, which has been much more interesting. Here's Tim Sackman to lead off the top of the 4th. Plover already staked to a 4-0 lead. Bartelt tries to drop that first pitch in. It's a little high, ball 1. Yeah, it was during one of those bad Madonna songs that I was playing during an overnight shift. I think La Isla Bonita, inside-out swing foul, that I said, you know, if I have to do this for the next 30 years, I'm going to lose interest in this broadcasting thing. And then gradually became more interested in doing radio newscasts, which I've been doing ever since. And then on beautiful nights like this, let's do some sports play-by-play. This has been a lot of fun. Off speed, reaches out up the middle. There's a base hit. Tim Sackman is 2 for 2.
Now batting the right fielder, number 15, Tommy Droner.
Tommy Droner is 2 for 2. Courtesy runner coming out here for the Black Sox. And you look here, this is a nice piece of hitting. This is not doing too much with a pitch that gets too much of the plate. Puts that right in play up the middle, and Tim Sackman's Got himself to first. Throw over. He was leaning towards second base, just barely back. Sackman almost picked off. Yeah, I think that's number 11 that's courtesy running out there. Runners going, pitches up high. Big jump here and safe. And you know what? A better throw would have got him. It looked to me like Matt Eden had a good jump. And you know what? Eden wasn't all that fast getting down to second, but the throw was bounced and was on the shortstop side, and it's a stolen base. So with a 4-0 lead, the Black Sox have another man in scoring position. Again, Droner's already done some damage with the bat. He's in an RBI spot. Drove in a run with his last single. Coming home here. Fly ball, shallow left, long run for Langman, and it's going to fall in front of him. You know, the runner at second doesn't advance because he's not sure if that's going to be caught or not. So there'll be runners at first and second. Droner is now 3 for 3 today. And just like in every inning so far this game, the Black Sox have traffic on the bases. Jackson Fox walked and flied out. A 7th hit for the Black Sox. Coming home, first ball swinging. There's a line drive to left field. Hit hard enough that the lead runner cannot come around. So 1, 2, 3 singles to start the 4th, and everyone's playing it station to station. The bases are loaded. Bryson Cashin to hit here. Sponsored tonight by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a farmer-owned co-op offering a wide array of custom financing and financial services. From loans to leases, crop insurance, tax records, they have you covered. Contact Ag Country in Stevens Point to get started. Infield is in again. Boy, that looked like a pretty good pitch. Judged to be a ball. Brendan Bartelt wanted to start off this sequence with a strike, and he does not. Hit one past this drawn-in infield, and 2 more runs probably come in. Took something off and got strike 1 there. Again, in Bartelt's mind, the count should be 0-2. Instead, even at a ball and a strike to Bryson Cashin. He's 0 for 2 today. Fouls that one off. Ouch, that got him, and it got the catcher, Nick Cotter. 200 points. 1 for hitting yourself, 1 for hitting the opposing battery. Pinball back there. 1-2. There's still nobody out. So what Cashin's trying to do in this spot is put the ball in play. And the Evergreens are trying to cut down a run at the plate. 1-2 pitch. Slow, popped up, foul out of play. Will stay at a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, the play is at home, but Cashin, again, big bat, hits the ball hard. This ball is going to be out on the Everest infielders quickly if he hits it right at somebody. 1-2 pitch. Aimed that one, and it's low, 2-2. Already 4-0. And with nobody out, Plover's got a chance, really, to put themselves in the catbird seat here. 2-2 pitch. Bounced off the plate. Now, this is a fly ball. It's out to right field. It is caught. Runner back to third will tag and score. It's the first out of the inning, but the pinch runner or the courtesy runner comes in 5-0.
Now batting the shortstop, number 16.
Sacrifice fly for Cashin. The other runners do not advance, so the runners stay at first and second. Carl Beechler to hit here. Again, with only 1 out, the Black Sox have to be thinking more in this situation. Slow curve, double steal, play to third base. Not only is he safe, but the throw gets past the third baseman, goes to the outfield, and there's the 6th run. A stolen base for Droner, and he scores on the throwing error from the catcher, which was down low and not handled by Owen Garski. It's a 4th error for the Everest Legion here. And it's 6-0. It was a double steal, and the runner moves over to third base on the throwing error. Bartelt coming home and aims that down low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Trying to keep that runner at third from scoring, Everest brings the infield in again. 2 balls, no strikes. Popped up foul, out of play, 2-1. Bartelt needs an out here, then you can play the infield back. Off-speed pitch, bounce to the shortstop, going to try and cut the runner down at home. They would have had to apply the tag anyway. The throw was there in time, but no tag, and the run is in. 7-0. That's the right call at home plate. Kyler Soppe, the shortstop, is moving to his right. He still made a good throw home, but the catcher, Nick Cotter, had to apply the tag in that spot. There's no force for that runner coming home at third, and he's in there safe. A third run comes in. Fielder's choice, RBI for Carl. 7-0. Thomas Hunt to hit now. Still only 1 out. I mean, and that's the problem with coming home there. You could have had an out if you made the throw over to first base. So 2nd out for the inning. Fly ball here, shallow center. Preston Miller coming in. He's there and makes the catch. There is the 2nd out. Landon Moe to hit now.
Now batting the second baseman, number 23, Landon Moe.
Landon was hit by a pitch his last time up, 0 for 1. 3 more runs in here in the 4th. Football score now, 7-0. Usually in baseball, when it's a football score, someone's not playing well. There's strike 1 from Bartelt. Everest Legion has a lot of games this week, so I mean, pitching's at a premium here, so they're probably going to ask Bartelt to keep going, even though he's down 7-0. That was on the outside corner to strike. 2 outs, runner on first. 3 more in for the Black Sox. That's down low. Good stop by catcher Nick Cotter. I believe we're at 2 balls and 1 strike. Home plate umpire just consulted his clicker and would have held up fingers if our scoreboard's not right. 2-1, curve. Yeah, that's a slow pitch, and that's easy hitting right into center field. Landon Moe keeps the inning going. Yeah, that pitch, that local, cannot break back over the plate like that. Landon Moe makes easy contact. John Naif to hit. Sacrificed a run in with a fly ball to center field. Now Coach Riley Pazer is coming to the mound. And you remember what I said about them wanting Bartelt to eat up some innings and outs? All of that, forget that. I didn't say that at all. We're going to have a pitching change here. And the next Everest pitcher is someone who's playing in the field right now, I think. So we'll see who that's going to be. Mitch Danielski will come in from right field and will be the Evergreens' next pitcher. So for Brennan Bartelt, he works 3 2/3 innings and is still responsible for 2 runners on base. He's allowed 7 runs. Bartelt has no strikeouts, walked 1, and hit a batter. Right-hander Mitch Danielski to take over. Pitching change here in the top of the 4th inning in a 7-0 ball game. American Legion Baseball tonight is brought to you by Ameriprise Financial. Do you have questions about your retirement? As a financial advisory practice of American Financial Services, LLC, Michael Smith and Associates can help. They have the exclusive Confident Retirement Approach. You'll work one-on-one with an advisor to develop a retirement roadmap to get you where you want to go. Call Michael Smith and Associates. Their number is 715-341-6657. 715-341-6657. Offices located at 3241A Business Park Drive, Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Maida Custom Apparel in Stevens Point gives you quality, decorated apparel from your hometown schools and summer teams to corporate and group outings, along with promotional items and sporting goods. That's Maida Custom Apparel in Stevens Point. So with Danielski coming in, I'm not sure if the Evergreens have a new right fielder here. Let's see, Nate Langman moves to right field, and Andrew Cotter, who had been DHing, goes over to left.
Now pitching, Mitch Danielski.
John Naif will be the 8th batter to come to the plate for Plover here. 2 outs and runners on first and second. So let's see if Mitch Danielski can put out this fire or if the inning will continue. Naif has a sacrifice and an RBI, 0 for 1. First pitch is up high. With 4 errors committed by Everest, some of these 7 runs are not earned. We'll do some scorecard forensics between innings. This ball's a fly ball to center. Going back, center fielder Miller. He's back to the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch. Read perfectly in center field, and the inning comes to an end. 3 runs, 4 hits. There was another error committed, and our new score as we go to the bottom of the 4th. It's the Black Sox 7, Everest nothing on Zaleski Sports.
Little Sprouts is now open in Rudolph with the same great child care you know about in Auburndale. Here's Brooke Sievers to tell us about it.
The community here in Rudolph has been extremely welcoming, and we're excited to serve here just like we do up in Auburndale. Part of the process is to help out the school districts and to help the children stay, their 4K children to stay close and get services right here. We serve here in Rudolph 1-year-olds up until 12-year-olds, and up in Auburndale we serve 6 weeks old until 12-year-olds.
Our Auburndale pea pods, wiggle worms, busy bees, and fireflies welcome the Rudolph sweet potatoes, lovely ladybugs, and beautiful butterflies. Contact Little Sprouts Learning Garden on Facebook today.
Welcome back to Simon Field. You want to see how to play a good center field? Here's Preston Miller on what just turns out to be a long out because he realizes he has to go back as soon as the ball leaves the bat. So he's all the way back to the warning track and retires John Naif. Bottom of the 4th, and Everest has just fallen further and further behind in this game. Plover's got a 7-0 lead. 2, 3, and 4 to come up for Everest. Andrew Cotter, Nick Cotter, and Mitch Danielski. We can now give you the pitching line on Brennan Bartlett, who stands to be the losing pitcher. He worked 3 2/3 innings, gave up 9 hits. Of the 7 runs he allowed, 5 were earned. He didn't strike out anyone, 1 walk and 1 hit batter. So that's just a pitcher who's been overpowered by the opposing lineup. Here's Andrew Cotter. Again, Cotter moved to left when Danielski came in to pitch. Cotter is 0 for 1 with a bounce out. First pitch from Kenny Schultz, strike 1. Schultz has not been behind anyone. 5 strikeouts, no walks, and he's been touched up for only 1 hit. Pitch here, fouled off, no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, not a lot of hard contact in this game for Everest. Home plate umpires looking around like he needs some more baseballs. Got to restock the ball bag. You know, Schultz isn't a particularly big or overpowering kid, but I mean, he's just the prototype for left-handed pitching. Throws not overpoweringly hard, but hard enough, and has that good, hard breaking ball that he can throw for strikes, and gets a lot of swinging strikes, too, when he throws it out of the strike zone. Yeah, check swing there. Went too far, you bet. That strike 3 is Andrew Cotter is out. Here's Nick Cotter, Andrew's older brother, who has the only hit in the ball game. Set one right back up the middle. First pitch. Again, there's that hard cutter. It's a strike. We're sponsored by Central Door Solutions, serving all of Wisconsin with high-quality garage doors and accessories since 2004. Checked his swing. No, that's in for a strike. Again, there's the hard lefty, the breaking stuff that comes back in over the plate. It's no balls and 2 strikes on Nick Cotter. 0-2. Down low. That's the one again. No balls, 2 strikes. You throw something out of the strike zone. See if you get him to chase. Velocity Clubhouse offers private lessons, clinics, open gyms, and rentals of batting cages, hitting simulators, basketball courts, volleyball, and more. Up your game, Velocity Clubhouse, Stevens Point. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and that's fouled off into the road down the first base line. Just misses the white Ford F-150. Again, for games here at Everest, we need an auto insurance sponsor. Driving by the field, when you hear that thud into your vehicle, call so-and-so insurance. 1-2 pitch. That almost broke in. Wow, thought that was strike 3. It's judged to be a little bit high. The catcher was going to throw down to third base like he thought that was a strikeout. He was going to throw it around the infield. Instead, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Cotter will see another. Someone's moving down to the Plover bullpen, which means Kenny Schultz pitches just may be limited here. That's down low. The count fills up. This is one of the first times that we've gone deep in a count. Bryce Eyre is going to begin pitching down in the bullpen. So maybe this is the last inning of work for Kenny Schultz. 3-2. And this ball is hit to second. Landon Moe over to first. There's the second out.
Now batting the pitcher, number 25, Mitch Danielski.
9 in a row for Kenny Schultz. So again, if Schultz gets lifted after this inning, it's just to give somebody else some work or to keep his pitch count down so he can be used later in the week. Schultz has been going right through the Everest lineup with very little difficulty. Danielski was one of the strikeout victims his first time up. Swing and a miss there. 6 strikeouts for Kenny Schultz now against no walks. And again, Danielski didn't look particularly comfortable in his first at-bat, and that swing looked like someone who's searching. Yeah, needed a 5-iron to hit that one. Pitch that bounced off the plate, swings right over the top. No balls, 2 strikes. In fact, I will not be here all week. I'm traveling on Friday. This ball is hit to short. Moving over to his right side. Nice throw. Carl Beekler throws out Mitch Danielski. That's a 3-up, 3-down inning. Well, if Kenny Schultz is done for the afternoon, he retires the last 11 batters that he's faced. We're going to the top of the 5th. Plover leading Everest 7-0 on Zaleski Sports.
First things first with Mid-State Technical College. Dual credit programs earn you college credit in high school. Then choose a path that suits you. Use your skills to start your career or transfer to a university to continue your degree. Choose a new career. Transition easily and quickly by upgrading your skills. Or continue your education with dozens of classes to get you on your path. No matter your stage of the game, your first move is Mid-State Technical College.
This is Jill from Home Furniture and Design. Since 1970 and 4 generations, our family has been proudly offering quality furniture like Lazy Boy, Serta, and the Amish to Central Wisconsin. We also offer free in-home design with our professionally trained designers to help you create a space that is uniquely yours, whether it's just a sofa or the entire home. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love Home Furniture. West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in Plover.
Plover has steadily built their lead as we go to the top of the 5th. I mean, there hasn't been a big inning. The Black Sox sent 8 to the plate and got 3 runs in the 4th. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. 3 in the 4th, and it's 7-0. Mitch Danielski got the final out in that 4th inning and is now on to work the 5th. He'll face Caden Thayer, Tim Sackman, and Tony Droner.
Leading off at the top of the 5th inning, the third baseman, number 19, Caden Plover.
Caden has flied out in foul ground in both of his at-bats. In this 9-hit afternoon for Plover, Caden is one of the starters who has not hit safely. Danielski looks in like he's ready to go. First pitch from Danielski, leg kick, and comes home, strike one. I thought Coach Greg Langman was going to stay around to tell some stories to us. He usually does when he comes up either out of the dugout or up here. Checked his swing, that's up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. The problem is, with Greg Langman's stories, he may not stop. And I'm not sure how much baseball we have left tonight. That's outside from Danielski, 2 balls and 1 strike. You know, Greg Langman, when his playing days came to an end, you know, there's always this tough conversation with people who are in the minor leagues and don't make it to the major leagues. There's a time when the major league team will tell you, we just don't consider you a prospect anymore. There's strike 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And you can imagine what a tough discussion that is, because you're good enough to play minor league baseball. Now, I'll just tell you, anyone who's able to earn a paycheck playing this game is an outstanding player. This has popped up on the infield. Pitcher calling and catching. There's the first out. Caden Plover is 0 for 3 tonight. Tim Sackman has 2 hits, a double and a single. He'll take a turn now.
Number 9, Tim Sackman.
So you play professional baseball, and again, you are the elite of the elite, but that's still no guarantee that you make it to the show. And then eventually you're offered, would you like to go and be like a player coach somewhere at a level lower, even though it's essentially the end of your hopes of making the big leagues? And there are a lot of people say, you know, I love the game so much, and, you know, this is what I love to do. So you take the coaching spot. And Greg Langman, long after his chances for being a big league star came to an end, fly ball to left, going back there, reaching up and making the catch. That's the Evergreen's new left fielder, Andrew Cotter, and there's the second out.
Now batting the right fielder, number 15, Tommy Drummer.
So Greg Langman coached a lot of independent ball in some of the college summer leagues there too. And it's only the last, 1 or 2 years that he hasn't been on the road during the summer coaching somewhere. You know what I bet? I bet Greg Langman never wants to see the inside of an intercity coach bus ever again. Tommy Droner is 3 for 3. He bats here with 2 outs and nobody on. Just below the knees for a ball. Yeah, I mean, even at the AAA level of minor league baseball, most of your travel is by bus. I remember when I was in college, I would go and see the Syracuse Chiefs play. Syracuse Chiefs baseball, they were the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate when I was up there. This ball's an inside-out swing, and it's caught at third base by Owen Garski. That's the first 3-up, 3-down inning for Everest. Plover does not score in the 5th, and our score stays 7-0 on Zaleski Sports.
Masonville Dairy, family-owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Masonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on U.S. Highway 10, masonvilledairy.com.
Central Door Solutions is the premier commercial and residential overhead door and dock equipment provider in north central Wisconsin. Our staff of trained professionals have the resources it takes to respond to emergency calls quickly. We use only the highest quality materials and top manufacturers in our overhead doors, hollow metal entry doors, dock equipment, screen doors, and much more.
Whether it's your home or business, farm or industrial, Central Door has your solution. Central Door Solutions, where personality opens doors and character keeps them open.
Yeah. Welcome back to Simon Field. I'm Chris Conley. We had thought that Kenny Schultz's afternoon might be coming to an end. Nope, he's out there to work the fifth. And he'll face 5, 6, and 7 in the Everest batting order. Preston Miller to lead off. Miller, as he always does, playing a good defensive center field. I was talking before about some of my minor league, not playing, no, spectating, watching. Now, when I was in college at Syracuse, the Syracuse Chiefs had their stadium on the outskirts of town, and we could take a bus. The bus said ballpark on the front of it, the ballpark bus. 50 cents to get to the ballpark, and general admission. You had to sit behind the yellow rail for $4, right on a college student's budget. And back then, the International League, AAA baseball, was only 8 teams. So you played the same other teams over and over again. Let's see if I can remember the International League teams there. The International League had a team in Rochester, still do, the Rochester Red Wings. The Yankees had the Columbus Clippers. The Mets had the Tidewater Tides. Preston Miller swings and misses. Well, I remember when the Pawtucket Red Sox would come to town when I was in college. Who were the big minor league stars? For the Red Sox, Mo Vaughn. Boy, what a slugger Mo Vaughn developed into. And, of course, in the minor leagues, the line on him was he struck out too much. But he hit more than enough home runs to make him a major league prospect. We saw him hit some long ones against Syracuse Chiefs pitching. 1 pitch to Miller, strike 2. And, of course, in this day of being politically correct, the Syracuse Chiefs were deemed to be an inappropriate name for a minor league baseball team. Chiefs, someone who leads an Indian tribe. No, you can't call them the Chiefs. That's down low, 2-2. So the team's name was changed to the Sky Chiefs, a World War II flying squadron reference, the Sky Chiefs. When I first heard about the name change, I thought it was the Sky Chefs, which is the catering company that serves that awful food when you fly somewhere. If you're flying from here to London and you get really lousy airline food, I believe that's the Sky Chefs. Not sure what we're looking at here. There's some confusion over the count, I think. Plover thought that Preston Miller just saw strike 3, and instead the count is indeed 2-2. And that is strike 3. 7th strikeout for Kenny Schultz. Here's Braxton Olson, flied out his first time. He's 0 for 1. Now, the American Association was also AAA ball. They had the team in Buffalo, and Buffalo to this day has a great minor league ballpark right in the middle of downtown. I've seen games there. And in the American Association, the team from Buffalo had to fly to some of their games because they had teams out in Omaha. You remember the Omaha Royals play in that stadium that had been used for years for the College World Series? Had to fly from Buffalo to Omaha. Strike, no balls, 2 strikes. The American Association had teams in Louisville and Nashville. And the Buffalo Bisons built this downtown ballpark with the possibility of a major league team that they have not received yet. The Blue Jays played there during the COVID season when you couldn't get people in and out of Canada because of their crazy COVID rules. No balls and 2 strikes here to Braxton Olson. This is an inside-out swing. I went to one of the Buffalo Bisons games. Now, that's a minor league stadium that has an upper deck. They have a lower seating bowl and an upper deck. So, again, I'm always buying the cheap seats when I was younger and didn't have a lot of money. And the guy I sat next to, he brought his son to the game. So it's a father and son in the seats next to me. And, you're just chatting in between innings. Well, what do you do for a living? Well, I work at radio stations. What do you do? He says, I work for Starter. There was a time that Starter made almost every major and minor league team's uniforms and hats. I said, well, what do you do with Starter? He says, I work in the factory that makes all of the hats. He says, do you have a team whose hat you would really like? And I said, yes, I would like one of the old, if you have it, Syracuse Chiefs hats, because I know they're the Sky Chiefs or Sky Chefs now. That's called strike 3, and Braxton Olson is down. And lo and behold, the father who worked for Starter, who I'd only seen once, took down my address, and a few weeks later, look what arrived in the mail, a Syracuse Chiefs hat. Logan George to hit here, struck out his first time. 2 outs and none on. outside, ball one. And you know what? Buffalo, which is a miserably cold city during the winter. I mean, we complain about our Wisconsin winters. Buffalo has winters like that. Tipped back to the catcher's mitt. No balls, 2 strikes. And Buffalo, of course, they're right on the Great Lakes, so they get the lake effect snow. I mean, times during the winter, it seems like it snows every day. Sometimes just a dusting, sometimes a couple of inches. There is strike 2, a ball and 2 strikes. But the summers in Buffalo are a lot like summers in Wisconsin. It's not too humid. It's really comfortable. The summers don't last long enough, but the weather there, just perfect for a ball game. Called strike 3, and Kenny Schultz has struck out the side. That's 12 batters in a row for the Black Sox pitcher, 5 complete. Plover leads Everest 7-0 on Zaleski Sports.
At Bauer & Fine Business Technologies in Marshfield, our company has been serving Central Wisconsin since 1955. We're still locally owned and believe strongly in supporting the communities that support us. If you're a current customer, thank you. If you're not a current customer, we'd love to work with you. Let's talk about copiers, printers, postage meters, and network services. Give us a call today at 800-288-2712 or visit our website at b-bt.com. Bauer & Fine Business Technologies. Better business together.
Hi, this is Van Patrick Oates from Rapids Awards and More. People ask, what is the more part of Awards and More? Well, that means that we're more than just an award store. We engrave glass, wood, plastic, guns, Yeti cups, medals, knives, and so much more. We're located on the web at awardsandmore.us. And if you're in the Wisconsin Rapids area, visit our physical store at 1210 Pepper Avenue or check us out on Facebook. Rapids Awards and More than just awards.
Welcome back to Simon Field, where Plover has just been overpowering Everest with really good pitching. Kenny Schultz has been sharp tonight. He's allowed only 1 hit. So not a lot of opportunities for Everest, and Plover's built a 7-0 lead as they come up to bat here in the 6th. 2, 3, and 4 scheduled to hit. Plover may be sending up some pinch hitters and giving other kids a chance to swing the bat as we get to the later innings here. Mitch Danielski has been good in relief. He's faced 4 batters and has retired all of them. Matt Iden will indeed pinch hit in the Jackson-Fox spot. So Jackson-Fox at the plate leaves 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Iden with the tennis ball yellow bat. Comes up there and takes ball 1. Danielski, leg kick, coming home. There's a strike. Yeah, Danielski started in right field and has been effective since he came on in relief of Brennan Bartelt. Bartelt allowed all 9 of the hits that the Black Sox have. 5 of the 7 runs earned. Pitch here, swing, way out in front. 1-2. The other memory from minor league baseball in upstate New York, the Nye Penn League was a short season single A minor league. And they had teams in some very, very small towns. In fact, I remember the Auburn Tigers, which had a tiny but new ballpark in downtown Auburn at the top of the Finger Lakes, at the top of Cayuga Lake in upstate New York. And Auburn was such a small city that they didn't draw very well. 2-2 pitch. And what would Auburn do? Fly ball. Foul ground. There's going to be a play here. Catcher Nick Cotter reaches back and makes the catch. Auburn would play their weekend games over at Doubleday Field in Cooperstown. Because what they found is that people driving up to spend a day at the Baseball Hall of Fame would love to see a baseball game if there was one going on. So the Auburn Tigers sometimes played as the Cooperstown Doubledays on the weekends. I don't think this is Bryson Cashin. I think this is a pinch hitter coming up here. Nope, Cashin's going to take his regular turn. Just outside, ball 1. Sacrifice fly, fielder's choice. Bryson's 0 for 2. You know what really changed the New York Penn League is when two of the teams decided to play downstate. That's up high, 2 balls and no strikes. So you'd have these small town teams in upstate New York, like in Auburn, New York, and in Batavia, New York, which is in between Buffalo and Rochester. The Yankees had a team in Oneonta, which is in the middle of nowhere. Good trout fishing in Oneonta and not much else, inside 3-0. And then the Yankees and Mets both decided to relocate their teams to the New York City area. The Yankees built a stadium on Staten Island, and the Mets built a stadium back where I grew up at Coney Island in Brooklyn. And that team became the Brooklyn Cyclones, 3-1. The problem is now that the minor leagues have contracted and the Nye Penn League is now just independent ball. Those teams are unaffiliated. That's a little high, and there's a walk. Bryson Cashin, with 1 out, is down to first base. You know, the conventional thinking was that people in big markets who had seen the Mets and Yankees play Major League Baseball would not want to see single-A minor league baseball. I can tell you that the Staten Island Yankees and the Brooklyn Cyclones both drew very well. And both of the ballparks looked out onto the water. If you saw a game at Staten Island, the entire outfield was the Verrazano Narrows, was the water that the Staten Island Ferry would go across every day. So that was a spectacular venue for baseball. Up high, ball 1 to Beechler. And then on a hot summer day, a baseball game down at Cyclones Field. It had different naming and corporate sponsors over the years, but the minor league stadium at Coney Island was a great place to see a game. Lemonade and a cool ocean breeze for baseball there. You know who got the rawest of deals? Look, single-A baseball players, unless they're a signing bonus baby, don't make a lot of money. And to have to pay New York City rents to play ball in Staten Island or in Brooklyn, throw over to first, runners back. Well, you could find a room or an apartment to rent no problem in Batavia or Auburn, not so much in Brooklyn. I had heard stories of players living like 4 or 5 guys having to pool their money for their Brooklyn or Staten Island apartments. 2 balls, no strikes. Just missed the outside corner. No, sir, it's in there, 2-1. 1 out and 1 on as we play the top of the 6th in the 7-0 ball game. All Black Sox on this Wednesday night here. Out in front of that, 2-2. Yeah, one of the things that tells you that baseball now is a money game is that the minor leagues have contracted so much. I mean, teams used to have 6 or 7 minor league affiliates. Now, by and large, they have 4. Drops in, no, sir. Count fills up, it's a little high. Well, Kyler Soppe, the Everest shortstop, is jawing at the home plate umpire. He's 100 feet away. Soppe just put his glove on his head and yelled something from all the way out there to the home plate umpire. Soppe pitches sometimes. He'll do himself no favors if he's called it. Runners going here that's down low, and it's back-to-back walks for Mitch Danielski. Bryce Air, who was warming up in the bullpen, will come into pinch hit here.
Bryce Air.
He'll hit in Thomas Hunt's spot. Bryce represents the 10th run at the plate, if you were thinking that maybe today's game will come to an early end. Under the 10-run rule, should Plover get 10 runs across, Everest would have to score to keep the game going. So we're in the 6th, and the 7th inning is a little bit uncertain now as the pitch is outside. What's going on here with Danielski, who retires the first 4 batters that he's faced and now has given up back-to-back walks? Ball's hit on the ground to third. It is foul by a couple of feet. Yeah, baseball teams now have 1 AAA affiliate, a AA, and generally 2 single-A teams. One of them in one of the single-A leagues, and usually one of them in Arizona. But the major league teams have clustered their teams for kind of extended spring training for some of their minor league prospects. That's aimed, and that's down low, 2 balls and a strike. And you know, the difference in spring training and in minor league baseball, in Arizona, almost all of the teams are clustered around the Phoenix area. There are 1 or 2 up in Tucson or down a little bit in Scottsdale, but most of the complexes are all within a car or a bus ride away. You play over in the Grapefruit League in Florida. Well, Florida's a pretty big state, and the teams are spread out. Teams up in Jacksonville and then down further south in Lakeland, Florida, and Dunedin and near Tampa and near Miami. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's aimed and count is full again. Danielski's in danger of loading up the bases. You know, one of the reasons why Major League Baseball was never placed in Florida till the Marlins and Rays, it was thought that there were so many Major League fans for other teams that held spring training there. 3-2 pitch coming here. And that's aimed, and that's ball 4. So back-to-back-to-back walks have loaded up the bases.
Now batting, second baseman, number 23,
Landon Moe, hit by a pitch, singled, 1 for 2 tonight. Bases are full, and there's only 1 out. Double play would end it. Hit to the outfield would score 2 more runs. Again, Danielski has not allowed a hit. Just suddenly had trouble finding the plate after getting off to a pretty good start. Everest brings the infield in, and the first pitch with the bases loaded is ball 1. You know, there were a lot of West Coast teams that for a while had spring training in Florida, and a lot of them have moved to Arizona. Just they find Arizona a better place to hold spring training. You remember the Dodgers? Trained in Vero Beach, Florida forever. That's a remnant from when they were the Brooklyn Dodgers, and the Dodgers now spring training in Florida. Tigers also used to spring train in Florida, not anymore. 2-0 pitch. Took something off that, and that's fouled back. 2-1. Got to throw a strike here to Landon Moe. Moe knows it. Green light to hit in this 7-0 game. Evergreens again with the infield in, and they have a force at home. No tag needed in this spot. 2 balls and a strike. Way up high. 3-1. Yeah, you know what? It's like, whatever it is, the confidence just seems like it's just drained right out of Mitch Danielski, who was doing just fine, retired the first 4 batters that he's faced, and now has walked the last 3. 2-1 pitch, and he aims that one, and 4 walks in a row. Danielski walks in a run. 8-0. And a pinch hitter coming up here. John Naif was going to hit here. Ben Fanti will hit here. And first, we will see here if Mitch Danielski is going to continue or if we're going to have a pitching change. Baseball is brought to you by Monogram Appetizers. Unhappy in your current job? Join the team at Monogram Foods in Plover. They have 2 modern facilities and plenty of openings. Make the choice to come grow with Monogram Appetizers. Heartland Custom Homes brings you today's game. Heartland Custom Homes is Central Wisconsin's premier home builder for 50 years. Heartland Custom Homes in Plover has kept their mission of building better living for you and your family. Stevens Point Brewery brings you tonight's American Legion action. Sit back and enjoy a handcrafted soda from the Stevens Point Brewery. 100% real sugar and the highest quality ingredients. Select from a variety of styles: Point Root Beer, Diet Root Beer, Black Cherry Cream, Orange Cream, Vanilla Cream, Kitty Cocktail. Stevens Point Brewery supporting area students and athletes. Well, Danielski stays in and throws ball 1. Again, Danielski has not allowed a hit. But 4 walks. Wow, that looked like a pretty good pitch. I guess inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Danielski sure could lose a... the body language is bad. Danielski needs a break here. Needs to throw something over. Aims. A lot of times when you aim, you're a little too fine. 3 balls and no strikes. Just tough, too, when you see a pitcher struggle like this. Wheels have kind of come off for Mitch. He's aiming there, taking, and there's a strike, 3-1. Got to think that Fonte's going to be hitting away here. 3-1. He is indeed hitting. It's a fly ball to center. Preston Miller misjudged this. He's going back, and he can't get it. It's off his glove. It's an error. And that's going to allow the 9th and 10th runs to score. Preston Miller, who's been so good in center field, was turned around on that. It's a double. It'll be 1 RBI because the lead runner at third base was going to tag and score anyway there, but the second run comes in on the dropped ball in the outfield, 10-0. Still only 1 out. See if this is indeed Caden Fowler here. The infield has to stay in, and the pitch is up high. There's another pinch hitter here. He will at some point in this at-bat turn to us, reveal his number, and then we will reveal his identity. It's like mystery guest, please sign in. This is Sankey, fly ball, shallow right, long run. Second baseman's got it, and the runners don't advance. There's the second out. Logan George went out to make the play. Tim Sackman is scheduled to hit. We're going to have a pinch hitter up here for the Black Sox. So Sackman, 2 for 3. Brock Bierenkopf to hit here. That's right, but it's an unfamiliar name. That means they didn't play high school ball for Spash. Inside out swing to the right side. First baseman's got it. Has to wait for the pitcher covering. Tagged him, and that's the inning. The inning is over. But Plover has gotten to a 10-run lead. The Evergreens will have to score, or the game will come to an early end in the bottom of the 6th. That frame is up next when we come back on Zaleski Sports. 10-0.
Auto Select, we have one goal, to be your choice for repair, service, and tires.
We know how important your vehicle is to you. That's why we put your needs first. Our employees are not just well trained to fix your vehicle, they're skilled in providing the very best in customer service and exceeding expectations. Get the trusted service you deserve, as well as free loaner vehicles, 3% Auto Select rewards, and a nationwide warranty at our 11 convenient locations.
At Auto Select, you're good to go.
When you want to win games, you look for an expert. Here's two-time national champion, Coach Jack Bennett.
I may know a few things about basketball, but I'm a rookie when it comes to vehicles. I trust the team at Sherrill Tire and Service Centers to call those shots. They're professionals. Remove the stress and anxiety of having your vehicle serviced or repaired.
Find your location at SherrillTire.com.
Go with the winning team at Sherrill Tire and Service Centers.
Kenny Schultz is coming on to pitch the 6th in what could be the final frame if the Evergreens do not score. They're trailing now 10-0. And Schultz has been fabulous today. He hasn't allowed a hit since the first inning. 13 in a row for Kenny Schultz. He'll face Nate Langman to lead off the 6th inning. Again, the Evergreens need a run or the game comes to an end on the 10-run rule. We're brought to you by Opus 5-Star Lanes, your go-to for family fun, bowling, birthday parties, pizza. Enjoy Opus 5-Star Lanes, Post Road, Plover.
Nate Langman.
Let's see if Nate Langman can get something positive here. It's only been a one-hit night for Everest Legion. First ball hitting, and it's a room service hop to the second baseman Landon Moe, who throws out Nate Langman.
Now batting third baseman, number 13, Owen Gartsky.
On Tuesdays, when it's $6 for 2 slices, you can find Mr. Conley at Polito's Pizza, the home of the big slice. They're in Wausau, Rothschild, Wisconsin Rapids, and Stevens Point. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. Polito's open late Fridays and Saturdays for your after-party pizza cravings. In Stevens Point, your Polito's Pizza is at downtown Stevens Point on Main Street. Fly ball to right, and Owen Gartsky is the second out.
Now batting the shortstop, number 16, Kyler Soppe.
Soppe has struck out his Last 2 plate appearances, he's 0 for 2. Are you telling me that there are some guys here in the press box who are hopeful for an early evening? Soppy takes strike 1. Kenny Schultz has put on a pitching clinic. He's looked great. Soppy's out in front of that, no balls and 2 strikes. And this evening's ball game is down to 1 final pitch. And swing and a miss. Gonna have to throw down to first, and that's the ball game. The Black Sox beat DC Everest 10-0. Kenny Schultz works another 3-up, 3-down inning. He allowed only 1 hit today, and then retired 16 in a row. Our final score is 10-0. Now the Evergreens didn't do themselves any favors either with the 5 errors committed behind them. Give you our final line score in just a moment. For Plover, it's 10 runs on 9 hits. The Black Sox played errorless baseball and left 8 on board. For Everest, no runs on 1 hit. It was a first-inning single up the middle from Nick Cotter with 2 outs, and that was it. That was the only base runner that they got today. Everest committed 5 errors and left 1 man on board, 10-1. Up next, the Masonville Dairy post-game show. Masonville Dairy, fresh cheese curds made daily. Get your cheese curds at Masonville Dairy in Marshfield, Curtis, or order online at masonvilledairy.com. 10-1's the final, and we'll be back to wrap up when we come right back on Zaleski Sports.
Masonville Dairy, family owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Masonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on US Highway 10, masonvilledairy.com.
All right, so we're here with Kim Hyman. Kim, Masonville Dairy, 125 years in the making. Tell us about that.
You know, it's fantastic. It was the first plant built in Wood County back in 1885. Sal Nason and his family came here, and they started a small dairy plant. Eventually that plant burnt down, but then they rebuilt onto this same facility, and our family moved here in the late 60s in 1968 and took it over from there, and it's been just a fantastic growth. Great community, great people we have working for us. Oh, it's an open market. It's huge. You know, the opportunity for the diversity in the cheese industry is fantastic, and you have to be that way in order to sell a lot of product. And so we've got a great group of people working on the research and development side for us. So it's been really fortunate for us. Oh, right. We have 185 farm families that market their milk through us here at Masonville Dairy. And we are so lucky we have like the best dairy farms in not only central Wisconsin, but in the United States, marketing milk through us. So we're just really fortunate on that side.
Actually, we started in 1968. Our father brought us here from another cheese plant in Wisconsin. We had come from the cheese business. We've always been in the business. We had moved around the state in different parts. He brought us here about that time. The plant ran 7,500 pounds of milk at that time, and now runs about 1.5 million a day. So. We originally started out with making cheddar, and now we make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmers Cheese, Pizza Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Friar, Seco, Parma, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflateri, Cafla Graviera, as well as making some Gouda, Edam, and a little bit of Munster on occasion.
Masonville Dairy, family owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Masonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on US Highway 10, masonvilledairy.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Conley on the field at Simon Field, where just moments ago the Black Sox defeated Everest in Wednesday night American Legion baseball. Final score is 10-0 in a game that came to an end after 6 innings. I mean, this game starts and ends with the pitching of Kenny Schultz. Schultz, a high school graduate from Stevens Point. I saw him pitch as a high school pitcher, and he was outstanding then. Now he's up at St. Cloud State. He gave up 1 hit in the first inning and then retired every batter after that. That's 16 in a row, and just no traffic on the bases tonight. And I believe that we're going to get to hear from Kenny Schultz, and one of the Black Sox coaches going to come over here in just a moment, as they had a very convincing win, 10-0. You know, there wasn't really a big inning in this game. This was 2 runs in the first, and then single runs in the first and second, and then 3 runs over in the 5th, and then a misplayed ball in the outfield allowed the 2 runs to make it a 10-run ball game that came in. Preston Miller had played a good center field for the Evergreens defensively all night, but he got turned around on a ball that went back to the warning track and wound up having it go off his glove, which allowed the 9th and 10th runs to score. Let's spend some time here with Kenny Schultz. Look, you gave up the hit in the first inning and then just nothing after that. There's pressure if you're going for a no-hitter. That was off the table early, and it just looked like you could concentrate on your business after that.
Yeah, so after they got the hit in the first inning, it actually made it a lot easier for me to focus. I didn't have to stress about anything. I could just work my pitches, throw strikes, let my defense work behind me.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a pitching clinic because you were ahead of every batter that you faced. I mean, there was never a time that I thought you were in trouble or you're going to give up a free pass or all of those things.
Yeah, that's always the goal. You want to get ahead, 0-2 if you can, and just throw strikes.
Tell us a little about what things have been for you since high school. You're off at the college level. I saw you pitch a couple of times at the high school level. You were outstanding then. What's taken your pitching to the next level? What was the next step in your development?
Working with Corey Opper, my pitching coach here, he taught me some things about how to move my body faster to home plate, and I've used everything I learned from him, and it's helped me at the next level.
You know, you didn't have a lot of times when you had to pitch from the stretch, and sometimes the mechanics are a little bit different when there's a runner on. You only faced 1 batter in that spot. In fact, that was really the only batter that you were behind. The first couple were out of the strike zone. You came back and got the out. You just didn't have a lot of chances to work on that in today's game. That's the way the game unfolded.
Yeah, so obviously it's a lot easier to throw when you're in the windup. You got less pressure. You don't have to worry about your runners. But even if I get a runner on base, my focus is still the same. Throw strikes, attack the hitter.
Yeah, and the key, too, is at any level of pitching, if you can throw a second pitch for strikes, it looked like you had that hard breaking ball that you looked like you were able to spot all night, and that sure makes the job a lot easier.
Yeah, so my first outing, my pitching coach told me that my breaking ball I wasn't hitting my spots. So the last 2 outings I've been working on that. And 3-4 pitches that you can throw for a strike, that's dominating. If you can get that down, you can beat literally anyone.
So what's kind of the adjustment? How do you make the change when you're not throwing a second pitch for a strike? You're working on that in the bullpen? You're doing that between starts?
Yeah, you always, about 2 days before my next start, I always throw a bullpen. I'll work on my off speed more than my fastball, just trying to hit my spots. And then when it comes to the game, I just get it done.
Well, congratulations. It's a 1-hitter, 16 in a row during the game. That's a really nice night of baseball. Congratulations. Go ahead and enjoy it.
Thank you.
All right, let's spend a little bit of time with your coach, please.
In the house.
Hang on just a moment. Go ahead, look right up there and say it for us.
I'm Kenny Schultz, and I'm in the house.
There we go.
Thanks,
Coach, thanks for coming over after the 10-0 win today. Kenny was on today, and when you see a pitcher that can throw more than 1 pitch for a strike, a lot of batters are guessing. There are just very few opportunities to hit against Kenny tonight.
Yeah, he's got 4 pitches. He throws very well, and he mixes them up really well. It's just tough on hitters to be successful against a guy like that.
And as we were saying when Kenny was over here, he was ahead of everybody tonight. No free passes, good defense behind him. Sure makes the job a lot easier.
Yeah, the other thing, obviously when you can throw that many pitches and then when you're getting ahead in the count, it's very difficult on the other team, and our defense was playing well today as well.
It looked like at the plate, there was a lot of hitting, well-hit balls coupled to the gap, that you guys, it looked like, were confident and were taking swings early in the count.
Yeah, our guys were aggressive in the zone when the pitch was there, and we did a nice job of getting on base and putting the pressure on them in every single inning.
We're going to turn the page to the month of July soon, and that means there's not all that much baseball left. What do you think of what's left for the season and your goals for this team?
Well, our thing is just to be the best team we can be by the time we get to that regional in the playoffs. We've got a tough tournament coming up. We're leaving tomorrow for New Ulm, Minnesota, and playing some teams we haven't seen yet, get some experience over there. But our main goal is to be as good as we can possibly be when it comes to playoff time.
And you see a lot of teams that want to give themselves tough games before they go into postseason. There's no downside to losing a game or two there. What you want to see is, can you hit against good pitching? How does your defense hold up? That these are all opportunities to set yourself up for success a couple of weeks down the road.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we're looking for, is just playing some competition, some good competition, getting some experience, and being ready to go.
10-0 tonight. It's a one-hitter as the Black Sox beat DC Everest. Coach, congratulations. Enjoy the ride back home.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're wrapping up our coverage from Simon Field tonight. 10 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for the Black Sox in what is their, this is their 16th win in 20 games this season. And for the Evergreens, still looking for their first win in league play. They managed just 1 hit tonight. No runs, 1 hit, 5 errors, and 1 man left on base. I'm Chris Conley from Simon Field on the DC Everest campus, repeating our final score. It's Plover 10, Everest Legion nothing. And you've been listening to American Legion Baseball on a beautiful Wednesday night in central Wisconsin on Zaleski Sports. Good night, everybody.